I'm going to try and answer as many questions as I can in the 5-minute videos that I can. So if I can get 2 questions, I will. If I can only do 1, I may only do 1. So we're sketching this graph here. Even though we do the dilation and reflection first in terms of transformations, we can translate the asymptotes. We know they would intersect at 0, 0. This is going to translate right 1 and up 3. So from 0, 0 to go right 1 and up 3 will put me at the ordered pair 1, 3, which is where my asymptotes should meet. So I will sketch a horizontal asymptote at y equals 3. You could use the line feature for this up here. However, in doing so, you can't do dotted lines. So it's important to understand this is not part of your graph. It is just there to help us to understand the graph better. So now that we have that, we're going to plot the points of interest, which would be, this is the apparent function of 1 over x, not 1 over x squared. So therefore, I would have a point right 1, up 1, and left 1, down 1. However, those points will be dilated vertically by a factor of 2 and reflected over the x-axis, which after the translation is my horizontal asymptote. So instead of being up 1, I'll be up twice as far, and then reflected over that axis would bring this, instead of 2 up, would be 2 below that horizontal asymptote. So here is where that point would be, right here at 2, 1. The point that would have been at 1 left and down 1 would now be dilated vertically by a factor of 2, so twice as far would be down to here, and reflected over that x-axis would be, instead of 2 below the horizontal asymptote, will now be 2 above the horizontal asymptote. By having these 2 points, I'll do it in a different color. We can now sketch the graphs as best we can with the mouse, making sure that we're approaching the asymptotes vertically and horizontally. The horizontal one should be approaching it at y equals 3 for the end behavior, and going up to infinity on the left, and over here starting at negative infinity, going all the way up through that point of interest, and then approaching y equals 3 as I go out to the right. In the space below, it says it asks for the horizontal asymptotes. My horizontal asymptote was the line y equals 3. My vertical asymptote was the line x equals 1. And the domain was going to be all real numbers, so long as x is not equal to 1, because that's where I would be dividing 2 divided by 1 minus 1 is 0, and I cannot divide by 0. So all real numbers as long as x does not equal 1. I'm going to copy and paste. And the last thing was range. And again, my range will be all real numbers except for the horizontal asymptote value of 3. And so that is the answer to slide 14. If I was to list my transformations, it has been dilated vertically by a factor of 2 and reflected over the x-axis. It has then been translated right 1 and up 3. However, when we sketch it, we handle the translations by putting the asymptotes first, and then we put into effect the dilation and reflection.